Be vegan, make peace, do good deeds, heaven Godspeed.
Our programs offer many languages. Please visit suprememastertv.com/schedule.
Some people have an inner urge to be in tune with animal people, but they are not sure why or what it will lead to. Miss Worsthorne, vegan, has found that learning to be sensitive to other beings facilitates self-discovery. Wynter, Worsthorne, Vegan, and Animaltalk Africa, Part 1 of 2. Please continue watching to find out about a method of interspecies communication that anyone can learn.
There should be a medal for you in hell as the most evil dictator and murderer of the innocent bystanders in your war.
Murahab, that means welcome in Arabic, the formal language of Mauritania, where the national motto is honor, fraternity, justice. Cordial viewers, I am Masad, a vegan gentleman from the desert hedgehog kingdom. The attentive co-inhabitants of Mauritania pray that your devotion to Allah and kindness to others will bring you endless blessings. Welcome to our show, Wynter, Worsthorne, Vegan, and Animaltalk Africa, Part 1 of 2. Worsthorne, Vegan, is an interspecies communicator and teacher who has been listening to animal people for more than 20 years. She is also the founder of Animaltalk Africa, a consultation service and online academy for learning the subtle art of exchanging messages with non-human sentient beings. In 2022, Ms. Worsthorne, Vegan, kindly agreed to an interview for Supreme Master Television. She began by talking about how she developed her ability to communicate with other species.
I always had a great love for animals, and I was very fortunate to have a mother who was very intuitive, very in tune with animals. And I always knew that animals could pick up on our energy, on our feelings, our thoughts, but I didn't realize that we could do the same with them until I met my human teacher, Amelia Kincaid. And it was when I attended one of her workshops that I realized, aha, I can do this. This is incredible. And I started working, helping people with their animals, mainly with their pets at the start. And then people asked me to start teaching them how to do it.
One thing led to another very naturally from that point. It was as if Ms. Worsthorne, Vegan, was not only listening to animal people, but was also receiving guidance from the cosmos.
And I slowly started teaching workshops and developed a website and slowly got into all the marketing aspects of it and developed Animaltalk Africa as my kind of brand name, I suppose. And then I went on to teach people. I had an international person who came to me and said, I want to learn, but I can't attend any of your workshops. How can we do this? And I said, okay, well, I'll just teach you via email. And then through that one person, I developed a whole online course. And that's been going in a formal capacity for about 5-6 years on the platform that it is now. And I have students from all over the world. It's just beautiful. It's lovely to be able to share it in this way.
Individuals who seek assistance from Ms. Worsthorne, Vegan, have a variety of goals. She tailors her teaching to their needs, but one key element underlies everything she does.
I really call it interspecies communication now, rather than just animal communication, because we connect with the land, with nature, with trees, with every being in the same method. And it's through unconditional love, it's through the heart. And yes, basically people come to me for all sorts of reasons. I do a course that's all the way up to professional. So you can do a practitioner's certificate where you do case studies. So people come to me wanting to learn how to communicate with other people's animals, to assist them, to make a career out of it. Other people just want to know how to connect with their own animal friends. So it's across the range. You know, some people specifically want to work with animal rescue or wildlife. So there's no real set box for this work. It's all about intuitively connecting and understanding nature in all her beauty and all her different forms.
Some people have an inner urge to be in tune with animal people, but they are not sure why or what it will lead to. Miss Worsthorne, vegan, has found that learning to be sensitive to other beings facilitates self-discovery.
In that introduction course, or what I give people, they have examples and practice sessions with so many different kinds of cases or kinds of animals, different realms, and then they look at what their calling is. Who do you really want to work with? And I can just relate it from my perspective because I'm definitely a cat person, but I've been drawn to lions since I was very, very little. I just loved lions. And my calling was to work with African wildlife, and particularly with lions. And then when I was still in my sort of practice time, I took a year, nearly 2 years, where I wasn't charging people for my work. I was just getting familiar with the experience of being able to do this for other people. I came across a book about the white lions, and I got involved with the Global White Lion Protection Trust. Now, that was nearly 20 years ago, so that was my real calling. So people will have a passion, and you are guided by your passion and by what nature intends for you, I think, and what the universe intends, what the divine intends.
Vegan, the factory animal people live in such filthy, unhygienic conditions, and you put them in your mouth?
As Miss Worsthorne, vegan, developed her skills and expanded her love, she was surprised to find herself communicating with a species she wasn't fond of.
I work with baboons as well, and they were an animal that I was never drawn to, that I was actually quite afraid of before I started knowing them. And it's very interesting because the lions and the baboons are my two main wild animals that I work with, and the two main non-profit organizations that I support. And it's just very interesting because one was quite a big fear of mine and one was a great love. And now they're the same. They're both great loves. So it's very interesting. The one's a lot more challenging. Baboons can be a bit more challenging than lions, I find, because they're so close to us in every way, actually, physically, emotionally. And they're very clever. They work out things logically. They know who's got the best fruit trees and nut trees. They know who's got the best bread that's left out on the kitchen counter. They know which windows are open.
Many people have voiced their concerns about animal people struggling to nourish themselves as their natural environment is reduced or destroyed by human activity. In November 2022, during a conference with Supreme Master Television team members in Taiwan, also known as Formosa, Supreme Master Ching Hai, vegan, revealed some of her own observations and her take regarding habitat loss and its impacts on wildlife.
When I was in Taiwan, I lived in one place where the monkey people keep coming to be fed. I fed them because they didn't have food. And they keep digging in the garden for some roots and all that. And also some squirrels and bird people came because the forest became smaller and smaller and they didn't have enough territory to survive and to find food. And my heart always aches everywhere I go when I see the lack of basic survival for birds, or wild dogs, cats, monkeys, fox, and squirrel people, whoever I see. When I look at them and I see them so tattered and not well-rounded and shiny, I feel so pained, so pained.
Miss Worsthorne, vegan, was attracted to a non-profit organization called Baboon Matters Trust, which works to find ways for humans and the ground-dwelling monkey folk to coexist peacefully.
So I'm involved with it from an animal communication perspective. I was a trustee for a long time. I'm no longer a trustee, but I do help with rescue situations. What does the animal need? To communicate to the baboons what the humans are trying to do to help them, whether they need to stay away from a certain area, whether it's safe to be in a certain area. I've done workshops locally in this garden route area, teaching people how to communicate with the baboons so that they don't keep coming into their properties. And of course, it has to be based on this unconditional love. So it's teaching people who already have that love for nature to work with the animals so that you can both live in harmony and not be upset by each other, and that's what we want, actually. That is the aim, to be able to live in harmony with nature.
Listening to Miss Worsthorne, vegan, it seems like unconditional love is an essential bridge between humans and animal people.
Well, I think it's the only bridge. It really is. Without that, we are not connecting, and we're not going to understand on that deep level that they want us to understand. Nature wants us to be in that field of unconditional love, and when we are in that field, everything falls into place. There's a Venda term called buchle, which is what every person is trying to achieve, and that's that feeling of almost bliss, where everything is just working in balance, where everything feels right in life. And that is what unconditional love achieves.
We are very grateful to Miss Worsthorne, vegan, for her beneficial work and the opportunity to interview her. Please join us again tomorrow for the second half of our show and more fascinating insights into animal communication. For more information about Miss Worsthorne, vegan, and Animaltalk Africa, please visit animaltalkafrica.co.za.
And as Jesus was going with some of his disciples, he met with a certain man who trained dogs to hunt other creatures. And he said to the man, "Why doest thou thus?" And the man said, "By this I live, and what profit is there to any in these creatures? These creatures are weak, but the dogs are strong." And Jesus said, "Thou lackest wisdom and love. Lo, every creature which God hath made hath its end and purpose, and who can say what good is there in it, or what profit to thyself or mankind?" And the man marveled, and left off training the dogs to hunt, and taught them to save life rather than destroy. And he learned of the doctrines of Jesus and became his disciple. Lection 14-15. The Gospel of the Holy 12. Essenes.
Friendly viewers, thank you for joining us today. Next is Go in the Direction of Peace and Be Grateful to Have a Better Life, Part 4 of 5, on Between Master and Disciples. May our world be colored with the bliss of feeling Allah's love.
Be vegan, make peace, do good deeds, hell not reach.
Our programs offer many languages. Please visit suprememastertv.com/schedule and suprememastertv.com/AW.
Nos programmes offrent plusieurs langues. Veuillez visiter suprememastertv.com/schedule et suprememastertv.com/AW.
Nuestros programas ofrecen varios idiomas. Visiten suprememastertv.com/schedule y suprememastertv.com/AW.
Naše programy nabízejí více jazyků. Prosím, navštivte suprememastertv.com/schedule a suprememastertv.com/AW.